Welcome back, folks. I'm Jake Ellenbogen, and today we have more news. Shocker, it's free agency day. Coleman Shelton sounds like he is coming back to the Rams. We're going to talk about this because I've gone and I've had some mixed feelings. I didn't think that they were going to alter their offensive line at all, which is why I really only covered right tackle for the future. But this is a team trying to win a Super Bowl. And so do they want a young second-year center that had a pretty big, glaring mistake made in the NFC divisional round that honestly could have cost them a chance at maybe going to the Super Bowl? Not all on Bo Limmer, but Coleman Shelton is a guy that they have a lot of familiarity with. So we're going to get into it. Before we do, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Be sure to follow me on all social media at JKBogan, including Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Kick. And in addition to that, just want to let you guys know that today's sponsor is Mando. And I just have to tell you right now, absolutely love Mando. If you haven't been paying attention, they are a phenomenal sponsor. And I love being sponsored by a company where I've been using their products forever. So as long as they've been around, since I found them on Instagram years back, I have been all over their products. I think they're fantastic, great deodorant, whether it's stick, the cream, whatever. And so you can go and get the starter pack for $5 off using my code JKBogan over at shopmando.com. It's going to come with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice, whether that's a mini body wash or, a deodorant wipe. So be sure to check that out. Again, link is in the description below. Let's dive into it. So, of course, Courtney Cronin is the one that broke this, or at least hearing the Rams are closing in on adding Coleman Shelton. PFF has already taken the liberty of putting him on the Rams. So I think this thing is done. I don't know what it looks like. So we are going to try and improvise there and try to figure it out. But this is what Courtney Cronin had to say. I'm hearing the Rams are closing in on adding center Coleman Shelton, who started 17 games for Chicago in 2024. Shelton spent the first 5 years of his career with Los Angeles. So I think this makes a lot of sense. And the reason being is, one, if it is just a depth move, right? Well, take a look at this guy, because I really want you to think about this. I'm not convinced this is just a depth move. I'm not convinced this is just competition for Bo Limmer. I like Bo Limmer. I do. I know a lot of people won't agree with me or believe me, but I do. However, Coleman Shelton feels like a correction. Like the Rams feel like they might have made a mistake last year, not bringing him back, paying Jonah Jackson what they paid him, and now they're literally correcting it. The Bears went out and got Drew Dahlman. They didn't have any, need for Coleman Shelton at that point. But the Rams, they've been developing this guy. This guy's only played in the regular season with the Rams. Look, so you got a guy down here. Look, you got a guy who essentially, well, we'll position it a little bit easier so you can see that part. So essentially with these grades, the season grades, like he's gotten better each year. He just had back-to-back seasons with 1,100 snaps. And he had an efficiency rate of 97.9 after he had a 97.1 the year prior. So his 2 years as a full-on starter, really picking up the pace, he's just gotten better and better and better. And he could play every position on the offensive line interior-wise. So the flexibility, the versatility is all there. But with Coleman Shelton, the thing that I really like here is that this is a guy that doesn't get a lot of penalties. 4 penalties. Bo Limmer had 9 this past year. He's 16th rated overall center according to PFF in 2024. He's the 21st rated run blocking center. So again, you're taking a little bit of a hit in run blocking, but he's the 12th rated pass protection center in the NFL according to PFF. He played every single game for Chicago with 17, and he had the 3rd most snaps played in the league. So I think really what the Rams are thinking here is, you might think but you actually don't. And this is what I'm trying to say. I don't think they're necessarily getting him, a guy that played over 1,000 snaps back-to-back seasons and started for the Rams the previous year. I do not believe they brought him in to have him be depth behind Bo Limmer. I think if they feel they are trying to win a Super Bowl, and by the way, they've spent the fourth most of any team in the league so far. We don't even know what Coleman Shelton's deal is going to be. It has not been announced. But Coleman Shelton makes a lot more sense for a Super Bowl winning team to start at center than Bo Limmer does. Limmer has a good future. Coleman Shelton is the here and now. And again, I just feel like this move just really kind of piggybacks the fact that they did something different last year. They went out and got Jonah Jackson. They felt like Steve Avila was going to translate to center. And guess what? Sean McVay has said on multiple podcasts, it didn't work the way they thought. They thought it was just going to work out. They thought Jonah Jackson was going to be guard, Steve Avila at center. Then they realized, okay, we don't really like Steve Avila at center. Let's try Jonah Jackson at guard, or Jonah Jackson at center. It didn't work. But you know what did? Coleman Shelton at center. Yeah, he has some issues. He's not perfect. He's not for a second. I mean, this is a pretty, maybe middle of the pack starter in this league, probably 15th best starter in the league. But you know what? He's a smart football player. They like him a lot. And I would have to imagine that a lot of those times where the offense stalled was because they didn't have a guy at center who was a veteran presence, who had been in this league and understood what was going on. 9 penalties as well. Bo Limmer was tied for 3rd in the league in penalties. I think that matters. So I think he's got a ways to go. Limmer did start 15 games for the Rams in the regular season. He gave up, 1 sack. So, I mean, he was great in that regard. But I think it's the little things. And I think right now the Rams are willing to sacrifice the fact that, okay, yeah, maybe Bo Limmer is better in the run game than Coleman Shelton. But the fact is they need a guy that's going to keep Stafford upright. And I just think that this is, whether people want to admit it or not, I think the 29-year-old Coleman Shelton is going to be your starter at center. At worst, he's going to end up being your interior, 6th man, where he could play right guard, center, or left guard. But I think he's going to start. 29 years old, 6'4", 299, a lot of familiarity with the Rams, a lot of playing time, a lot of starts. I'm going to say he gets a 3-year deal that is basically a 2-year deal. And I think it's going to look a lot like Poona Ford. I think they're paying him to be their center in the Matthew Stafford era. That's how I feel. I feel like they're basically telling us that he's the center of the Matthew Stafford era. I could be wrong. We don't know the deal, the contract details, but I'm going to say he ends up getting about a 3-year, $32 million deal from the Rams, maybe 14 to 16 guaranteed. But I think people are going to be surprised. I think this is what they're doing. They are actually saying and admitting to a mistake last year, seeing that Shelton is available this year, and they're course correcting it. And you know what's even funnier is because the guy that they're correcting it, they sent him to Chicago. So it works out for everybody. Ben Johnson gets reunited with his guy in Jonah Jackson, and Sean McVay and the Rams get reunited with Coleman Shelton, who, by the way, has familiarity with not just Mike Munchak, but also Ryan Wendell, who was the offensive line coach that year. So Shelton, familiarity with Stafford, familiarity with Ryan Wendell, familiarity with McVay. I think this is a no-brainer. I didn't think this was an option. I thought they were going to roll with Limmer. I thought that's why they traded Jonah. But now it all makes sense. The light bulb went on, and this is exactly what they're doing, okay? I could be wrong. They could actually believe Bo Limmer's the guy. Maybe it's a competition, but I'm telling you now, I think when that contract comes out, it's going to look like Coleman Shelton was signed to be the guy in the Stafford era. Stafford has 2 to 3 years left. I wish he'd play longer, but I think realistically speaking, he's got 2 to 3 years left. And I think a lot of these deals are going to put the Rams in position where you're talking about a 2 to 3 year window with a lot less guaranteed money. So that's how I feel. But in conclusion, Coleman Shelton sounds like he's going to be a Ram. We don't have the details. Again, Courtney Cronin was reporting that this thing was getting close. PFF has him I mean, you saw the graphic. He's already on the Rams, according to PFF. We'll see what ends up happening, but I will say the Rams are absolutely slaying free agency. I love what they've done. I love the trade they made. They got Jonah Jackson off the books. They had the Bears take on a lot of money. And guess what? They still got some room to play with. Are they going to go after a linebacker, which I think they need to do? Are they going to bring back Ahkello Witherspoon, which I think they need to do? Are they going to bring back Michael Hoyt? We'll find out. But that's all I got for you guys in this one. You guys take care. I'll see you soon. And be sure to check out today's sponsor, Mando. Later, folks. All right, guys. So once again, just want to let you guys know that you can check out my new side project, The Lounge. I interview athletes, musicians, actors, actresses, all the nine. So definitely check it out over on The Lounge with Jake Ellenbogen channel. Be sure to subscribe and enjoy. In case you guys haven't noticed, I do have a Discord channel for my community on this channel. And if you want to be a part of it, it is free. The link is in the description below. You can sign up. This is basically a 24/7 Rams channel, and we are almost at 1,100 members. So if you want to be a part of it, just hit the link in the description below.